This is such an exciting season finale concert. It spans all the epics, kind of the exciting epics that we present, in symphonic concerts. The really cool thing about Bach is that he was a working musician, and these Brandenburg Concerti happened to be, an audition piece. They were a resume builder, that he would send out to various counts, so he could get jobs. And in this case, he didn't get the job. Part of the reason, in my opinion, that makes people like Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, composers that took progressive leaps and bounds and brought classical music and the Baroque music to the next level, is because they had the polyphony of Bach. This kind of complexity was used as a force of musical change by the great composers that would carry through the 1800s, of course, which would result in the great dramatic symphonies of Gustav Mahler.
My name is Jack Frerer. I'm a composer from Sydney, Australia, currently living in New York City, and I'm honored to be the new composer in residence with the Arapahoe Philharmonic this year and next year. Really looking forward to these performances and opportunities and to write a new piece for the group next year. The piece that's being performed, that's already written, on May 11th is titled On Again, Off Again, and is about my experience with the New York City subway system, in particular the one train, which I take every day from 157th Street to 66th Street. That's how I get to school, and it's not a particularly friendly train. The piece kind of emulates the rapid stops and starts, the kind of cramped nature that you find on the train during rush hour, which is when I normally catch it. Amongst all of this loud, frantic, crazy music, you get this very slow, gorgeous middle section, which is supposed to emulate the 125th Street stop on the one train, which takes you out of the tunnel. The train erupts from underground, and you end up skying up over Harlem, over this kind of big wooden construction where you come out of the tunnel and all you can see around you is just the sky and tops of buildings. And for a moment, it feels like you're kind of out of the grunginess and dirtiness and franticness of New York. But before long, you dive right back into the tunnel and you finish your trip. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can make it to the concert on May 11th. Really looking forward to it.
It's a great concert opener. I think it's going to serve as an incredible welcoming to our season finale, and make people really thirsty for more music of Jack Frerer's. It seems that kind of every 100 years, a composer comes along that people don't know what to do with, what to make of. Bach was that. 100 years later, Beethoven was that. Then comes along Mahler. And the fruits of his labor are amazing. I mean, they're some of the greatest creations ever handed to us. The Fifth Symphony comes at a really cool juncture for Mahler. It's a 5-movement symphony, so he would have taken this from Hector Berlioz or Beethoven's Pastoral. It's really monumental. I mean, people like Brahms would have never have done that. Even Mozart, in all his genius, his symphonies are 3 and 4 movements at the most. So even though the Symphony No. 5 is in a 5-part structure, the first 2 movements are instructed to be played as one. And the third movement, the scherzo, features an obligato or a solo horn. And the fourth movement, of course, is where we see Mahler falling in love with Alma Schindler, who would end up being the love of the rest of his short life, because you have the adagietto, and that's instructed to go attacca, so without pause, into the great 5th movement, which triumphs in a way that really showcases Mahler's interpretation of what a symphony is meant for. He said a symphony should contain everything. It should contain the whole world. And that's what we hope this season and this season closer will do. And we're really looking forward to putting it on.